If you're a kid from the 80s, car purchasing used to be as simple as a compact, a subcompact, and probably a mid-size sedan, and that's about it. But nowadays in the 21st century, there are so many subcategories, including compact SUVs, subcompact SUVs, and probably micro SUVs. But what we have here today is an entry of Hyundai to the compact SUV. Ladies and gentlemen, the 2023 Hyundai Tucson.
Yeah, take me to a place. Got me on the way. Ooh la la la, I guess I caught a vibe. Ooh la la la, oh my. Yeah, hop on the plane.
If you haven't checked out a Korean vehicle in the last 10 years, then you're probably missing out. The level of sophistication, design, merged together with technology has really stepped up leaps and bounds. And let's check out the exterior of the Hyundai Tucson. First off, you can see the design in the front. Like with all modern Hyundai vehicles or products, there's this classic, I don't think it's classic, it's a modern edgy style that houses the DRLs of the vehicle. In the Tucson, similar with the other cars we've reviewed like the Creta and the Staria, the headlights are down here and there are no fog lamps. I already mentioned that. But guys, I found something new on the Tucson that probably the other two vehicles doesn't have. What is that? If you turn the car to the left, I don't know what part of the light turns on, but it adds a light in the corner. If you turn the car to the right, there's an added light on the corner of on that side. I don't know if it's a blind spot. So Hyundai Tucson has that, and I don't know, I like that feature. Because, you know, sometimes if you're turning, okay, as a mall crawler, if you're turning into a dark mall parking and you don't see a gutter or a banqueta, that light will show you the banqueta. Now, why I needed that? Probably hit the gutter. Hyundai, I did not hit the gutter on this car. Okay, so just to be clear, so we don't have to say sorry again for our video. So nothing happened to the vehicle. The Hyundai Tucson's exterior is equipped with 18-inch wheels, 255 R18s. It's a Rhodia next-gen tire. Again, check my friend's vlog for all the details of that, but basically it looks good. Now take note that this Hyundai Tucson is the GL gas variant, meaning according to Hyundai, this is actually the lower spec because the diesel spec is the top of the line. So honestly, I did not know there was a diesel spec when we got the vehicle. Therefore, I took the car as is, and honestly it didn't feel cheap. It did not feel like they skimped out because all of the major features are there, at least for the exterior. Out back, there's a, I don't know what Hyundai calls it, but out back there's this claw design. Claw, which continues the futuristic look of Hyundai. For this model, the tailgate doesn't have a power feature, but I believe the higher trim has the power feature. But nonetheless, the height's very easy. I don't hit my head on it. It's easy to open and it's easy to close. So that rounds up the exterior. Last but not the least, which is one of the things we finally, thank you Hyundai, finally have, is a load-bearing roof rail. There is no apply load anymore. In short, this is a load-bearing roof rail, which obviously, as you can see, I haven't talked about it yet, we've put on some gear to make it adventure ready. So given this accessory package for the Hyundai, that means you're capable to add so much more gear that might fit your adventure. What we have here is the IKAMPER BDV Solo, the thinnest tent in the market today, as measuring at only 7 inches thick. What that means, we picked this tent for the car because it kind of looks good, especially with the profile of this edgy look of Hyundai. And by the way, IKAMPER is a Korean product, therefore this is all Korean. Napasok natin yun. Okay, so but what I like about the simplicity of this tent is it's a two-step process. You take out the clips in the back, then you push it up, and your tent's ready just like that. On the other side, we have installed one of the most basic things you will need when you're adventuring, which is a shade. This is called the Adventure King side awning, which is 2 by 2.5 in measurement. And let me open it up for you so you can see how easy and useful it is. when you're in the outdoors. So I just discovered how to properly take this out if you're alone. Apparently, that's what you do. Your friend on the right, called the other J. Ah! It would have been nice if we... Ah! This is just to prove that this is really a single-man operation with my friend standing beside me. So what we have here is the Adventure King sign on. Thanks for the help, friends. I guess the point is, tie this down after, okay? But the point is, this is one of the most flexible accessories or adventure shade that you could put on your vehicle. And this is applicable with all vehicles. And it includes a light on the side, so in the back of the awning, so you have a light at night. You can have it in amber or in white colors. Just a perfect shade for a perfect weather like today. So we are here inside the Tucson, giving a driving impression of how the car feels like in our time with the automobile. So before giving impressions, we like to drive it for a longer period of time so that we could give you the best possible opinion on what this car has to offer. So off the bat, let's talk about drive modes. So the car comes with 3 drive modes: Eco, Normal, and Sport. And one thing that you will note is in Sport mode is the steering does get heavier, so it's a weighted steering wheel. So for those long highway drives where you need to turn the steering wheel, that's confidence inspiring. If you're on more city driving traffic, Normal mode will do better, because for me, the Sport mode feel on the steering wheel is quite heavy. So that would make it tedious to go in and out of traffic if you're on a bumper to bumper, maybe in C5 or an EDSA. And given that, let's talk about the engine. So the engine is an N-series engine from Hyundai, if I'm not mistaken, and this has been in production since the previous generation Hyundai Tucson, and it has just been updated. Given that, the fuel mileage that we've had over mixed use of city and highway driving is roughly right now 8.1 to 8.2 kilometers per liter. For a 2-liter engine, that's about par or is industry standard of what an engine like this would provide if you are driving it. Now, if you ask me, I prefer an engine that's even more eco-friendly or more, what's the term for it? Efficient when driving it. Because the newer engines, I believe, from other manufacturers or even from the Creta that we've driven, actually can do 10 to 12. But given that it's a 1.5-liter engine, this is a 2-liter engine, yeah, you know, it's gonna be a little bit more. And of course, the Hyundai Tucson is a heavier, significant vehicle. So talking about that, you do feel its presence when you're driving the car. It's not finicky, the suspension is more planted. So the overall feel is a vehicle, it's a significant, serious vehicle that, you know, will inspire confidence if you're on the road. You're not gonna get cut by those small cars. I have nothing against small cars. Part of the question that we ask is the car adventure ready? So the question for that is, the Hyundai Tucson ready for adventure if you wanted to? The answer to that is yes, and let me tell you why. Because this is the first vehicle that finally has a roof rail from Hyundai, at least in its lineup that we've used, that allows us to put a crossbar, a roof tent, and an awning on top. So in that sense, it gives us more flexibility if you like mounting things on your vehicle, or you like want to put any other gear on top, maybe a roof box, maybe a bike, a rack, on those bars. So then I would say it's adventure ready as far as all of the lineups have. How does it feel with all the gear up top right now? Honestly, I actually forgot it's up there. The beauty about this car is all the gear up top does not create much noise. Short plug, Overland Kings. So at the end of the day, putting gear on your car is about the way you install the accessories. And putting all these accessories on top, I honestly don't feel it. You don't feel the car slowing down, meaning all the gear on top is quite lightweight. So you don't actually feel much of a dip or actually a difference in terms of road noise while driving. Here's the interior of the 2023 Tucson. And I must say, like with all Hyundai products in this generation that we've reviewed, it's very modern, and there's a sense of sophistication from the Creta immediately when you come in. You don't even know, I don't even know why, but once you step into the Tucson, there's this air of elegance, sophistication. You know you've stepped up to the next level class of vehicle if you come from a subcompact or from a compact vehicle. So just to name a few, leather here, leather everywhere. So I think makes it a very luxurious feel. One thing I will note that I like for the interior is there's this padding here that's leather, and that's actually one of my gripes from the other cars. Is this one has a nice leather padding, and I don't know if you're long distance driving. I like to have my feet relaxed on the sides, so having a nice little cushion here makes a big difference for the comfort of this vehicle, and the Hyundai Tucson has that. Given this side is not leather wrapped or with any cushion, but none of the cars, I think, most of the cars doesn't have that. So, but this side, that's a good, I don't know, maybe accidental touch to this car. Leather steering wheel with the notch at 10 and 2 o'clock. I like that. I'm a fan of that. The screens are all modern. There's a digital screen in front. Same with all the new Hyundai products. It has basically the same clusters, the same user settings in the middle with the lights, door, driver assistance. All that is standard. Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and of course wireless charging, which is now which will fit Android Z Fold phone, and 2 USB ports in the front. What to note here is it's not the same transmission as the Creta. I think it's still a 6-speed because this is the gas vehicle model. But nonetheless, this waterfall design of the interior of the dash is very modern, and it's pleasing to look at, and it's a good place to be in if you are considering the new Hyundai Tucson. Let's check out the back. The rear of the Hyundai Tucson. If you remembered in our intro, I did talk about the time where purchasing a vehicle was simply a subcompact, a compact, a midsize, and a full-size sedan. This, in my opinion, is the first model in the lineup of Hyundai that, for me, replaces the very popular midsize sedan. Hear me out. Hear me out. You used to buy a midsize sedan like the Sonata, the Camry, or the Honda Accord back in the 90s. And one of the reasons you would buy that vehicle is because it has one of the best back seats. I'm not saying this is the most luxurious back seat, but I will note that that's probably my driver position with a little bit recline. But this has the first, probably in the range of Hyundai, that has the proper seating position, if there's such a thing, for the back, for the owner to relax. Meaning, this is probably the first car I would want to be driven in the whole lineup. If you're coming from a car that you drive all day and you are moving up to being chauffeur driven, this is probably one of the first levels into entry of rear seat passenger as an owner. And the reason I like that is, aside from the legroom, the ability to recline the seat. And you can see that. And I think it has one of the biggest rakes in the back seat of the crossover segment. And there's just some stuff in the back because we want to show you how adventure ready that is. But basically, it's a comfortable space to be in with 2 cup holders in the middle with your armrest. So it is a comfortable place to stretch out because you even have that underfoot space to stretch out your legs. So that's my take on it, that this is probably the first step into rear seat passenger driving, if there's such a thing, if you're being chauffeured around in a car. Let's go to the back and show you the cargo space. What we put here are all the accessories that we would like to run when we're adventuring. Since we have the rooftop on the top, we put in the ladder here. We put in a Thor storage box, which we usually use. And you can see here, we put a battery system just to run any of your accessories. But one thing to note on the Tucson is it comes with a 12-volt port in the back. In short, this freezer will be able to run directly from the vehicle. Let's see if we have the plug and show you. So there, it's on. That'll work. In short, check this out, guys. If you're running this in a Tucson, you'll be able to run a 45-liter freezer while the car is running and be able to have cold drinks. When you get to your destination, you can bring out this portable power and continue running your freezer when the car is off. So this is a good adventure setup. I don't know how many liters that is, but oh, we can do this. That's 45 liters, 53 liters, maybe 10 liters. Ilan yung add dun? 100 plus liters. A lot of liters. Given this setup, the convenience of doing an overland roof tent is usually if you have big bulky items, this is where it would go. But given the shade is already efficiently mounted on top and the roof tent's efficiently mounted on top and it's completely waterproof, you have all this space to put your other gear, which includes your freezer, your duffel bag, your battery system, and all your other probably accessories that you bring, lights, your speaker system, or whatever, whatnot. And yeah, so that actually rounds up what you can put on the Hyundai Tucson in the boot. If by any chance you get stuck inside the back of this car, I see an arrow. It's like Hyundai designed it for our review. Well, very, very fast change. So you can put probably a ball pen or something and push that this way, and this will unlock, and you'll be able to get out of the Hyundai Tucson if you're locked inside the trunk for some weird reason. Check out the Creda video and you'll see why we like this feature. At this point of the video, if you still are watching what we're doing, please do like and subscribe and hit the bell button for the latest uploads from Overland Kings. So, who is the Hyundai Tucson for, guys? If you ask me, this is a level up into the next category of compact SUVs. If you're coming from the Creta, this is the level up from that. And at the price range of 1.5 million, this is not exactly the cheapest crossover SUV you'll be able to purchase. Therefore, you have to consider what you want to use the car for. If you're the guy who's puttering around in city from your house to the office in the back seat, then it is a good consideration for you. At the same time, if you're a young family with probably 1 or 2 kids who also enjoys the weekend and wants to bring your kids out, this is also a car you can consider. Like as we said, the space in the back can be used for the owner, but also can be used for hauling your kids, hauling passengers, and hauling gear. Which brings us to our second question. Is the Hyundai Tucson adventure ready? Obviously, the Hyundai Tucson can be mounted with all the accessories that we can put on, including the little lighter socket in the back, which gives us the option to run a lot of different types of accessories, including a fridge. So yes, the Hyundai Tucson is adventure ready. This category of SUVs, the compact SUV, is a very competitive market, and this is Hyundai's entry to that. We've checked it out, we've driven it, we've given our review. It's time for you to check it out. Maybe it's your car, maybe it's not for you, but definitely it's one competitive package that Hyundai has put together with the right standard features, with a futuristic design, enough space, and adventure ready. So again, guys, this is Joel from Overland Kings, and we'll see you in our next review. Please do like and subscribe. We'll see you in the next one. Bye!